It goes beyond the highest star and reaches to the lowest hell. The guilty pair bowed down with care. God gave his son to win his erring child. He reconciled and pardoned from his sin. O love of God, how rich and pure, how measureless and strong, it shall forevermore endure the saints and angels' song. When years of time shall pass away, and earthly thrones and kingdoms fall, when men who hear refuse to pray, on rocks and hills and mountains call, God's love so sure shall still endure, all measureless and strong, redeeming grace to Adam's race, the saints and angels' song.
Kenneth Kendall married Mabel Hoffman on Friday afternoon, June 2nd, 1961. They were both 53 years old. After their marriage, Ken and Mabel spent 11 years in St. Louis, Missouri, holding church services, children's ministries, and so on. At about the same time, Ken held a full-time job in printing. All through the years together, Ken and Mabel lived carefully. No careless spending, no keeping up with the Joneses, and clothes shopping at Goodwill and similar stores. At the same time, they were very generous toward God's work, including several life shares for missionaries. In 1972, they came to serve at Grace Chapel. Along with pastoring, Kenneth worked full-time as a proofreader at the Milwaukee Journal. At that time, the church was too small to support a pastor full-time. Mabel was a great help to Ken at the church. She ran children's programs, vacation Bible school, Christmas programs, made calls in the neighborhood, and started a young women's, mostly young mothers, Bible study. In 1976, a trip of a lifetime, Ken and Mabel and his sister Pauline were able to go on a trip to the Holy Land. Ken and Mabel did not like to spend money for souvenirs, so wherever they went, they would pick up an attractive stone and print the name of the place on it. Ken still has a glass jar of these stones. Ken and Mabel were always associated with music. They would do special sharing, singing one of the old songs, often accompanied by Mabel on her electric guitar. In 1980, at the age of 72, Ken took part in a church softball game and ended up in the hospital with 2 broken bones. The interns couldn't believe it. They asked him, "What did you say you were doing when this happened?" In 1980, Ken and Mabel retired. Pastor Ken asked sometime around 20 years later when he actually retired from the Lord's work. He emphatically answered, "Never."